Well, good afternoon. It's good to see everyone. Good to have everybody back on campus, students and move-ins tomorrow, and normally be with you around the football media day, but I was out of town on business, so not able to speak with you at the normal time. So I'll start with a topic that's on everyone's mind. As is my norm, I will keep details of the family business and private conversations within the family and the department. Comments in an interview created, in my judgment, an unproductive and unfortunate situation. I can assure you I've talked to both coaches, and they're extremely competitive, and that's where I want them to be. I'm glad they're competitive and they are proud of their programs. Like all of us, they want their students and their teams to be successful. At the same time, I know all of our coaches and our entire department understand the privilege that we have in representing this university and the state. We compete, we educate, with the understanding of how privileged we are to be here, and the importance and the honor and integrity that must be present in everything that we do for our university, for our state, and for our students who look to us. We all of us, every one of us, have an incredible heart and love for this university and the state. And that commitment is part of why I think coming off such a historic year of accomplishments, which is what I'll speak to in just a moment. As adults, we're responsible for leading a group of young people. What we're doing today is laying a foundation for generational leadership, and I use that all the time in my conversations with our team for today and for the future. The adults are supposed to teach the children. However, what occurred this week is not who we are. It's not who we want to be. And I've communicated that directly, and we will continue to work our way through that. I believe we're ready to move forward together as a department, as a family. And to be clear, we aren't a football school, we aren't a basketball school, we're both of these and much more. We're a university with an outstanding athletic department, as demonstrated by our highest ever finish in the Director's Cup, which measures us on the performance across all sports, and 20 straight semesters of above a 3.0 with those same student athletes that represent our program, over 600 of them. Kenneth Horsey said it best at SEC Football Media Days. He said, "We're an all-everything school." And I appreciated him saying that. It's fascinating to me that he was paying such attention that he could go and quote chapter and verse exactly what our teams were doing when he went to Media Day. As you likely noticed when you came in today, there's a crane above installing new video boards, which will enhance the fan experience when Kroger Field welcomes back fans on September 3rd. This project, in addition to the renovation of the Nutter Field House and the construction of a new indoor track and field practice facility, will serve fans and over 200 student athletes. As approved by the Board of Trustees, the design of a new tennis complex and the renovation of historic Memorial Coliseum will lead to the enhancements for our men's and women's tennis programs, volleyball, gymnastics, women's basketball, and our new stunt program. These approved projects are the next wave of what we have been doing for more than 20 years of construction enhancement to athletic facilities. We've been doing this 20 years. We're always evaluating the needs and making priorities. That hasn't changed and it will not change. I want our coaches to want more. That's awesome. More for their teams, for our programs, more for the students who work so hard and sacrifice to be successful and has proven results. But the desire for more should be met with a sense of gratitude that we shall all share for what we have done together. I'm grateful and proud of the updates for the Rupp Arena for our fans, the new locker rooms for our men's basketball at Rupp Arena and the Joe Kraft Center, the incredible new head basketball coach's office, the new Joe Kraft football training center and practice fields, the renovation of a football stadium, the construction of the new Kentucky Proud Park, gymnastics locker room, volleyball team room, softball video board and stadium enhancements, as well as the new facilities for soccer and softball, and our outdoor track and field complex, among others, and I could continue to go on. They have all been done to maximize the experience for our students and our fans. And why? Our purpose is competition and education, and I've said that many times and continue to talk about that with our student athletes, which is why I love the fall. Students get back to class, teams get back to preparation and competition. In addition to the excitement around football, and we've currently sold about 37,000 plus regular season tickets and over 6,000 student tickets, so roughly 43, almost 44,000 season tickets are out for this season, and the opportunity to extend our school record for 7 straight bowl appearances. I'm excited about the potential with all of our fall sports. The volleyball team's opportunity to win a 6th straight championship, for our new head coach, Troy Fabiano, to lead our women's soccer team, who's currently playing in their first exhibition game over at the Bell Complex. For our nationally ranked men's soccer team to take the pitch, and for our men's and women's cross-country teams to continue at a high level as we begin the fall. This is what we're about. We educate young people and we compete for championships. While the athletes and coaches are working hard to that end, our staff continues to work to help student athletes as they enhance their personal brands and enjoy the financial successes they're experiencing in the NIL space. Through June 30th of this year, 176 student athletes from each of our 22 sports have earned 1,329 NIL deals. Our department's focus for educating students around the NIL has helped athletes enter a new market for them successfully. We're ready to take the next step in how we prepare these young men and women for the rest of their lives for meaning and purpose. As our students earn new income from NIL and from the financial academic awards this fall, we are doubling down on the education around their personal finance so that students, while they're here and for the rest of their lives, are prepared to make the best decisions with their money. We'll have more to say about that as we have some of these efforts announced in the next few weeks. With that, I'm happy to answer some questions and open it up to you all.
Mitch, are you considering a new basketball practice? That's what started this whole thing.
Yeah.
Where is that?
So we've got, the Craft Center is 15 years old, and we've continued to make enhancements during that time. We've enhanced that facility over and over again. It continues to be a state-of-the-art facility because we take really good care of it. We'll continue to make improvements as we see fit and as we are working through that. But we always do that. We always have. We've never stopped looking at ways we can continue to enhance our program. It's part of what we've done. As I mentioned, there's a process for all this, and we work through the processes. And I'm very thoughtful about what we do, and we have to take those things to our university administration. We work through the Board of Trustees. We have campus strategic planning. All of that is a part of this process. And so we've been thoughtful about doing that way for 20 years. And we'll continue to do that. So we'll continue to look at our needs. But right now, what's in the queue for us is really, really important is the renovation Memorial Coliseum, which is due to begin probably sometime next year. And we've got the plans for that already done. We're working on some other thoughts around that, which could help all of our programs. We've got, obviously, the indoor track is being built, and we've got the plans for a new soft tennis facility. We're trying to draw those up and get those going because that initially was supposed to go where the track is supposed to go. We're having to move that now, so that's going to go to a different spot. And then renovating the indoor facility, which, again, enhances the ability for us to work with a bunch of our students for sports that have indoor needs during the winter. So where we are right now, it's not a project that we've put on our strategic plan. So, but we'll continue to look and see how we work through the things that help our basketball programs and make sure that we're doing all we can. We've got to do some things, continue to do some things in the Craft Center, and we'll always do that.
Mitch, Mark seems to be pretty clearly still upset about some of the things that were said earlier this week. He said he and Cal have not talked. Do you feel any need to broker anything there to get?
Yeah, I think that they'll talk at the appropriate time when Cal gets back from the Bahamas. I don't think those are conversations that are probably great over the phone. I think you want to get back face to face and visit a little bit and do that together. They're both grown men that are iconic people in our program, and I would expect and anticipate that they'll manage that like pros. I would anticipate them to get in the room, have solid conversations, and figure out if it doesn't mean that they'll have to, have dinner every night together or whatever. But they've got programs they've got to work at and build. And Mark's in season and he's working at it, and Cal's preparing his team in the Bahamas, and he's going to get back here and he's going to have a lot of work to do to get ready to go for our 2022 and 23 season. So those conversations and those things will be done in the family, and we'll move on. We're going to put this behind us pretty quickly because we got a lot of work to do, and the season starts upon us right now. And that's where I want our focus to be. Let's be really clear about that. What we came here to do is not to get into drama every day, and let's absolutely line up and do what we're supposed to do, educate and compete, and then we're going to get back to that really, really quickly.
Did you open by noting you're not somebody who likes to go out in public and air the dirty laundry publicly? There's been a lot this summer from both Cal and Mark of public pushing on the NIL issue, now on the facilities. Just in general, how do you respond to that kind of?
I think what happens is I think the marketplace is in terms of the social media world and everything else. Everyone has got the sound bites turn into more of essays, if you will. It is amazing to me how something escalates in today's environment. And there's a lot to talk about. I mean, college athletics has no shortage of issues. We have no shortage of things to talk about. And the landscape in NIL from July 1 of last year has changed so dramatically. And we don't have enough time today to talk about all that, and I'm not going to get into all of that. But it's dramatically different than it was on July 1 of 2021. And it will be dramatically different in July of 23. And so, yeah, there's been a lot to say. And we've had good conversations, and that doesn't mean that I think everyone's looking for something to talk about. The talking season is effective in the summer. You guys look for stuff. You got nothing else to do. All right? So you look to create stories, and it becomes the fact. And the reality of it is we're really in a pretty good spot in most of this stuff. Things are really, and it's fascinating as we go through the transformation of the NCAA and the different things that are going on legally in the world that we're living in, that amazingly, we're 3 weeks from the first game and we're probably going to show up to kick it off on time. It's unbelievable that we could get here with all that other stuff going on. And we can still find a way. And oh my gosh, yeah, we did finish 9th in the Director's Cup, and our department was pretty good. Yet if I listened to the noise, I would be told that we're not getting it done. I'm fine. I don't talk a whole lot. It's not my nature. Don't need it. I let results be results, and we get to where we're supposed to be. So you can sit here and point to all the other stuff, but the results are the results. And there's some things we're not going to be perfect. We'll stub our toe, and we're going to make some mistakes. And folks may say things that offend from time to time. But at the end of the day, we're a pretty good family. We've got 11 coaches who've been with us for more than 10 years out of our 17 head coaches. And a bunch of them that have been here within the last few that have arrived on the scene have made a heck of an impact. And I can showcase Alani Green, who's done an amazing job. He's only been here 5 years, I think. If I'm not right, Jason, right? 4, working on number 5. Been amazing. So I would argue, and I hear a lot of our friends in the conference that are out there talking about, hey, the Cats are fighting. Awesome. That's really good. How many coaches have you turned over in your group? Let's check their rosters. I'll put our longevity of what we've done and the success of what we've done against about anybody's. Not perfect right now. Not real thrilled with where we are. Grown-ups are going to have to figure this out and be a little better. I think sometimes you can get a little bit of success and you get a little entitled. We're going to make sure we're not entitled. I wrote that down as one of my closing notes. We will not be an entitled department. We will be grateful for what we've got. And when we have the platform to be grateful, it's amazing what happens out of all of that. You find a little joy in where you are instead of trying to pick at the things that are wrong. We won't be that group. And I'll teach it that way from my end. You can either join me in the journey and we'll have some fun and get there, or you don't. But at the end of the day, we've got an unbelievable group of coaches who've done unbelievable work, and I couldn't be more proud of a group. The thing that's getting lost in all of this is our young people. They get it, and they're really good. They get it. Good kids, doing great work, wanting to represent us the right way if we'll let them do what they're supposed to do. And we've done that well. I'm going to make sure when we get to the starting line, we do it effectively well for this fall. Long answer to a really short question.
Mitch, when we talk about the process of prioritizing all these projects, how directly does how the program fares on the field, on the court, play into that at all?
Yeah, I think what we've always tried to do is you've got about 5 pieces to the equation. One, you've got a strategic plan of the university. We are part of a major university. I have a boss who's amazing. Dr. Capilouto is awesome. And he's been unbelievably gracious to us, allow us to continue to grow our program. I came here with Dr. Todd, and he was also awesome. Interesting, I'll go back in the Wayback Machine. Dr. Todd was no longer he had just resigned as president, retired, and Dr. Capilouto came in. And if you will remember, about 10 years ago, we were going through this incredible transition at Rupp Arena. Rupp Arena was going to get transformed, and the 14th iteration since I'd come to Kentucky of how we were going to redo Rupp Arena. And every time I opened my mouth, I said something wrong. I felt like I did. And Dr. Capilouto came in as a new president. He called me into his office one day. And he may not remember this, and it's a true story. And I was hurt terribly by it back then. And I was not. He said, "Stop talking about Rupp Arena." I said, "Huh?" I said, "That's our facility." He goes, "Don't say another word about it. You're not talking about it anymore." He's my boss. Guess what I did? I stopped talking about Rupp Arena. Guess what happened 9 years, 6, 8, 9 years later? We got it fixed up. It took a little longer than any of us, probably fans, anybody else wanted. It's a pretty cool place. It was a really cool place before, really cool now. $200 million worth, right? Pretty neat place. But he was my boss. And he said, "This is why we'll do it. This is how we'll get it done." And he had a plan that I didn't see for how to get it done. And over that time, he's shown us how, through his master plan and the things that he wanted to do, how it benefited us. And it's amazing what happens if every once in a while you listen to someone else's vision for what they also want to produce. I'm not the only one who has vision at this institution. He does. Others do. Coaches do. Shared vision's wonderful. Singular vision, really tough to manage. So I've been very fortunate to work with a president that has an incredible ability to see a vision for a university. It's transformed since the last 10 years. Dr. Todd had a real vision. Dr. Capilouto's had an amazing vision. And I've been blessed to be a part of that. And we will be grateful for that and figure out, the landscape continues to change for us athletically. It's awesome. You can say, "Well, yeah, but it's not." The landscape changed so Sidney McLaughlin could set 3 world records in the 400 hurdles. Abby Steiner could be a part of the 4x400. No one took pride in that in this room, right? Not one person wrote about that or talked about it or tweeted about it or social media, Instagram. I don't know what the heck all you do. We all did that. Not one of us didn't turn it on to watch it. Every one of us did. Without Dr. Capilouto's vision, some of that stuff doesn't happen. He didn't see that happening. That was our vision. But he saw the things that allowed us to get to the spot. My boss allowed me to get to that spot. So I'm grateful. I'm not going to lose sight of that and become entitled about what I don't have. I'm going to figure it out. I want our coaches, all 17 head coaches, to be in that same spot. We will be a grateful department. And our young people, and we've been given more in assets at the University of Kentucky for our coaches, staff, and student athletes than we ever envisioned. And we've got to be grateful for that. And here's the other piece that's missing in all this. We ever start showing each other a little grace. Everybody's got to take a breath and show some grace. And I'm going to have some fun in this journey. I'm not going out of this thing miserable. One of my peers in this business said, "It's time to have fun in the journey." And he's right. We're going to have fun. We're going to create some joy, and we're going to be thankful. We're going to be a grateful group, and we're going to be some folks that extend some grace to people as well. We got people in Eastern Kentucky struggling with all the stuff going on here, and we're sitting here talking about my feelings getting hurt. Seriously? Their feelings are hurt. And what I'm most thankful for is our department. Guess what they've done? Cal has a telethon. Mark packs boxes. All of our folks going. We got a bunch of folks going over next week to help. I don't even know if we're doing what's right, but we're trying. That's the message that's missing in all this. Gratefulness, grace, joy. We're going to figure that part out. We can be different. And I got some colleagues in this conference tweeted some interesting things about us. Okay, cool. I'm glad their families have never had a day of discontent in their departments at all. I'm glad they've never had any issues. I don't remember the last time I tweeted something. I don't tweet, so you're really a good spot. You guys are in a great spot. Huh? The last time I was compelled to put something on Twitter? Seriously? I'm good. That'll galvanize me. I'm good. We'll figure it out. Our folks will be reminded, I promise you, of how we got to be number 9. I'm not done. We will galvanize around that. I promise you. There will be a great reminder of how we got there and how we continue to move forward. Because it is about educating and competing. Do not miss that. All this stuff is noise. And I'm not going to get hung up in the noise. It'll be the last you hear me talk about it.
Well, then let me ask you one more thing while you're still talking about it. This idea of Kentucky being a basketball school, it's always been around. I mean, nothing is really, it's always been the standard bearer. And whether Coach Calipari has said those exact words before, he's always talked about this Kentucky effect and this and that, whatever. You mentioned the social media, but why do you think this really blew up when it did?
You guys had nothing else. I mean, it's NFL exhibition season, Major League Baseball. There's just not a lot to talk about in the summer. It's a talking season.
So are you blaming?
No, it's not y'all's fault. It's just there's nothing else out there right now. We need desperately to play games. We need to play games. And do what we do. The rest of this stuff is noise. And I think the one thing that's been beautiful about our program for so long, the thing that allowed so many of our coaches to be successful, you don't get hung up in stuff that doesn't matter. Don't get hung up in things that don't matter. I'm not going to fight fights that are unnecessary. I'm just going to do what I do. Dr. Todd was awesome, and Mark would remember this. I'm going to point to him. Early in my tenure, it was a little hard for me. Oh, this is great. This is awesome. This is great. The lights are out. This is great. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the best. Now, do not send this all over the world, right? Come on now. Come on. I mentioned Mark's name and it went dark.
Are you saying?
No, let me go back. So early on, and it was hard. It wasn't good. It was really difficult for our family and not great. And I remember walking into Dr. Todd's office, and he may not remember this. As a matter of fact, it wasn't his house. It was over at his house. I remember sitting down with him, and I said, Doc, I said, things ain't going so good here. You know I'm new here, and folks not so fond of me. And, we had, yeah. I remember offering him my resignation. And I said, you got it. You want it. It's yours. He laughed. He laughed at me. He said, I've had 2 companies that I thought were going under. He says, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told all my employees. When in doubt, just work. I thought he was joking. So I said, all right, fair enough. Marched on out of there and went back to doing what I thought I could do. And I see John back there too. He knows it wasn't easy. Not a lot easier in today's world. It's just changed. But you just work. And I took that to heart. Stop taking on things that don't matter. Stick your nose down, go to work, show up. Be a genuine person. Do the best you can, knowing you're going to make mistakes. Try. Don't please man. That's not who you're here to please. My heart was clear. I felt good about who I was. I could do what I was called to do. Just work hard. And boy, I've made more mistakes since then, haven't I, guys? You guys can tell me. It's okay. I get told all the time. My email's full of mistakes. It's okay. It's okay. Along the way, some good's happened. Because you just didn't listen to the noise and you just kept going. Thankful that I had people that supported me in the president's chair. Thankful that there were good trustees that gave us guidance and counsel. And guess what? I became a better listener. I was a terrible listener early on. Terrible. The worst. Stubborn. I'm not stubborn anymore. Right? You all laughing. Come on. I'm not going to make all you happy. It's not my goal. My goal is to take care of the 600 kids. That's my goal. That's it. If that's not good enough, I'm sorry. The adults will figure it out. We're a pretty good family, guys. No, we're not perfect. I mean, we're a good family. And I'll be dead gum. We're going to compete like crazy come fall because I'm really hot right now. It has nothing to do with what those two guys talked about.
Mitch, Kentucky fans are haunted by, they have to help up in Bear Bluff.
Yeah.
Using one left.
Yeah.
Should they worry that this dynamic is heading in that direction?
I have two coaches that have been with me, one 13 years and one 10 years. I can't speak to that. That's their call. But I will tell you, I'll be there with them. I'll walk with them, both of them. I've walked with them all this way. I hired them both. I gave them the opportunities to coach here, their families to come here, to win championships here, to go to bowl games here. I've walked with both of them through both good and bad, and they both know it. They don't have to fear the administration. The administration's been right here the whole time, and we got a president that's been right here the whole time. It ain't changing. And they've been provided every opportunity to do the very things that they want to do to be successful. That isn't changing as long as I'm in the chair. We will have that support. And if that's not good enough, coaches change a lot in today's world. They do. For us to have 23 years of expertise in those two chairs, I don't think there's another school in the league that probably has that. It's pretty close. I don't know that anybody does. We have 44 years of experience between the athletic director and the men's basketball coach and football coach in Kentucky. Walk around the league and tell me anybody else who's got that, and then they can start tweeting that stuff out. A couple of them have gone through some coaches pretty quickly. So yeah, I'm a little fired up about that. This league used to be a league of friendship. If this is the way it's going to go, I'm in. Let's go play. Got me a little juiced.
You're fired up.
Mitch, you alluded to the fact that you needed to play some games. You needed to play.
Yeah.
And are you saying that if you win, that it puts all the other behind?
No, I think
a lot of people, and the old adage is the winning carries all things.
No, I think you got to keep your focus on on what you came here to do, and that's play. And you're not going to be promised all the wins. You're not. We've not done that. But when we win, we're going to win it the right way with class and dignity and honor. I mean, and we're going to lose the same way. We're going to go shake somebody's hand and tell them, well done. That's the way this thing is supposed to happen. We're supposed to be teaching young people. And the lessons that we're teaching them is what? The adults can't get it right? Come on. We're better than that. We're better than that. Or we expect a different result from them. Do we really want the kids to see this is the way the adults are handling it? No. We want to teach them what's right. Grace. Gratitude. Let's start there. Then maybe, just maybe, they'll walk out of here with going, yeah, that's the way it's supposed to look.
Mitch, have y'all had any more conversations about selling alcohol at games? If so, where's that?
No, we've got a great atmosphere where we are, and that's a short conversation today, and I knew that somewhere along the way we'd get to one of my other 94 notes here. But no, we're where we are. We're sort of in some situation we've been in, and we've got a great atmosphere. We sold 44,000 season tickets, and we've got some visitors that'll be coming in, and we're got an 8-game home schedule, and feel pretty comfortable with what we've got going.
Mitch, you've talked about over and over again the turnover in the league at those two sports coaching positions. What has it meant to the university to have the longevity with Coach Stoops and Coach Cal at the same time?
I think it's been great. It's in today's landscape, it's unheard of. I don't know. You could look around the country and find less turnover or more. I didn't say it right. You could look around the country, and I don't know that you'd find a lot of places that are as stable as we are in terms of that. I'm trying to do the math off the top of my head. I'm sure that there's some place out there that's close, Iowa with Kirk Ferenz and Fran, I'm assuming it'd be probably pretty close. They've had a lot. Kirk's been there a great number of years. I mean, 25, 30 years. I mean, so that's just in and of itself hard to, but you start looking around, it's tough. There's not a lot of places that have had this ability. A couple of things have happened. The NFL and the NBA have changed the dynamic of all that. People bouncing back and forth and doing things. It's not the same. To Mark's question about 1950s, it looks a lot different than 2022. Coaching tenures right now, I mean, the average coaching tenures in a lot of these sports is 4 to 6 years. I mean, it's that thin. Average ADs, I think it's somewhere, somebody told me it's in the 5 and 6 year range at most institutions. So I feel very blessed to have been here this long. And this is our home. I mean, and I've told you guys that. This is the place this is it for us. We love it here. This is our home. This is a place we've settled. Our family settled here. My grandchildren are here. We're here. When I'm done, I'm done. I'll be a Kentuckian. And I'm going to go walk this state to state. Love this place. It's our home.
Mitch, could you add anything about the kind of upgrades in the stadium right now and kind of the fan experience?
Yeah, the scoreboards are going to be unbelievable. We turned them on. If you guys had a chance to see them or not, we don't have them fully going just yet. But I think this one is on track. Mark's shaking his head yes. That's good. Would be helpful to have them on both ends. But excited about that. So we've got that going on. I think that's probably the only thing to the stadium, Mark. Am I missing anything? That's pretty much. We've got some touch-up, normal maintenance operation things we're going to continue to clean up and fix up. But that's probably the biggest thing is the scoreboards for this year, which is a big deal for us. I mean, those are $4.5 million worth of investment in our football program as well. In terms of that, we've got, those scoreboards the dynamic of that has changed dramatically over the years. It used to be that's part of a multimedia rights package, and those were factored into the middle of all that. It's not the way it is anymore, so we're having to, those are capital expenditures which we have to do on our own.
Mitch, one question I've gotten a lot from fans, just for clarity's sake, is the administration involved in the decision of when Chris Rodriguez is going to play this fall, or is that?
We got a lot. Chris's status, I think Coach spoke to that, and we're working our way through all of those pieces. So, that'll be a collective decision. So.
Mitch, I know you said it wasn't in the plans, but because of all this, do you start thinking about a timeline for new basketball facilities or anything like that in terms of number of years?
I think that we look at our total strategic plan, our master plan of all of our facilities. We've been fortunate that we've been able to get a lot of those, I say, picked off. We've been able to pick things off as we've been able to go. And so we're getting to the spot, which is where I wanted to be as an athletic director. We've done a lot of things and sort of something for everybody, and then we have the ability to go back and tend to what we need to change. What do we need to update? And so it's fine. It's when you look, I think, the total number of dollars in construction, I think we've done, if you include the Rupp Arena, $200 million, which we pay debt service on that. I understand that. Everybody needs to understand that. That's not a free $200 million deal. Part of a new agreement was part of us, our rent went up, okay? Our rent went from a couple $100,000, $250,000 a year under the old Rupp. We're at almost $2 million a year in rent. So that's a debt service that we took on as a department. Everybody understand that one? I don't know if you knew that or not. So I won't say raise your hand if you knew. But my gut says most of you didn't know that. All right? So that was an expenditure as well that we invested. All right? So at the end of the day, I want to go back, and then we go back and have a chance to refurbish those things and make them right.
Whether it shouldn't have been said either way.
I'm sorry.
Whether it should not have been said, Big Blue Nation really ran with it on Twitter. They were kind of getting fired up too, and obviously you can't control the fan narratives, but what does it say about just the passion of the fan base?
Yeah, I'm glad. 37,000 season tickets, 6,000 in the student section. Let me go back to largest freshman class in the history of the institution coming in this fall. Something must be right at Kentucky. We're going to have, the largest number of kids on our campus ever in the history of the school. That's awesome. That's what we built this place for. And that's why our fan base loves this place. And it's passionate, yeah. So hopefully we have 8 games and we're sold out and rocking and rolling and going. Then we roll right into basketball season and we go after a Final Four, number 9, and CFP, and all those things are really, really special. That's what this is about, among all the other things that we do. So yeah, I love our passion. I got hit with as many good, not good, I get hit with a lot of emails. I got hit with a bunch of emails about our track program. Raise your hand and don't lie. If you ever said, oh, they're going to email Mitch about the success of the track program, don't lie, because none of you would raise your hand on that. Now raise your hand if you said it was fun to watch. Stinking fun to watch. Unbelievable. And I can go back to Craig Skinner, 5 straight SEC volleyball champion. Do you really want me to go through and list it all? Our fans have hit me on all that stuff. They're proud of all of it. And I'm proud of Harry Mullins, 4 national championships. I mean, I can just sit there and go down the list. We won 4 championships last year, and I haven't heard anybody talk about any of that. Okay? I'm not here to please you. I'm here to please them. It's about them. The minute you lose sight of that is when you don't see me in this chair.
Mitch, do you have time to hit on some of the highlights of
No.
the Memorial Coliseum?
Yes, no. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
That impacts a guy like Coach Stoops.
No, it does. We had some plans originally about 3 years. Was it 3 years ago, Mark? About 3 years ago, and COVID hit. Prices went crazy. Really got difficult for us, and we couldn't make it work. So then we changed and went in a different direction, and came back. It's the seating bowl is essentially the same number, sort of similar. Renovating all the seats, giving us some areas to have banquets and things like that. Some club, I don't say club area, that's really not accurate. And then opening it up, brightening it up, air conditioning. It's going to be awesome, you know. Although I still would contend it is a great advantage for us in September. And so we schedule right, we can really win some games in September. There'll be HVAC in there, which will be awesome. We're not sure what we're going to do with the Cats piece and how that'll be impacted for our student athlete experience, folks. Looking at some things on the backside as it would impact possibly our basketball programs and how we could do some things on the backside of that with the new. We've got the plans. We're looking to see if they're still as valid as they could be. But it's in all total. I mean, it is a significant plan. It will completely revitalize that area. It gives us the ability to honor our veterans through the Memorial Coliseum piece. We get to continue to do that and find a way to do a better job of that. So we're excited about that. Possibly a Hall of Fame in there. We've got this Hall of Fame that we started in '02. We've got all these people that are in the Hall of Fame. We've really never been able to recognize them publicly anywhere. And finding a way to get that done in the facility is something that is big on my heart. I want to see those people acknowledged. So that's really, really important to me. Then we'll have to see how it fits in with all the other pieces. We have not dug any digging, in terms of what we'll find, knocking down walls and stuff like that. So that's all part of that equation as well. That's about as much as I am capable of passing on, and without giving the microphone to Hill. So
20 years you've been here, and all the things have been added to your plate since you've been here. How is your joy, your comfort, your
my joy is when we get to the game. I love the joy of watching kids do what they do. I was at the national championship trial. I don't mean to keep coming back track and field, and I think because it's so fascinating. I was at the NCAA's in track and field, and Jason Schlaffer told me, he says, Lonnie's never won the 4x400 as a coach. I said, oh, come on, seriously, he's been coaching for forever. Surely, goodness, he's won the 4x4s. No, because look how nervous he is. He's down there just, and he was. And so we're behind. You all saw, I don't have to tell you what happened. Third leg, and here comes Abby. And you can see Lonnie, he's starting to get tall. And then Alexis comes around on the anchor. And when it's clear that he's like almost running down the sideline, Lonnie was probably going to set the course record that day. That's joy. That's joy. It's hard because sometimes what we do becomes relief and it's not joy. There's a difference. There's a difference. And I've seen it on coaches, and I've felt it with me. There's times when you walk in a locker room and it's relief, and there's no joy in the journey. I think you got to make sure that you find joy in the journey, because if you don't, it's time to walk away. And that's important, to be able to have joy. So I want to find joy. And I look forward to watching our teams compete. You know, championships are fun. What Craig Skinner's done, 5 straight championships, awesome. It's incredible. It's almost unprecedented. You know, I can point to the different things that I've accomplished. I find joy in that. I love passing out rings to the kids, letting them get their championship rings. That's fun. And it's not all stories end great, you know. Every once in a while, we stumble. But we've been pretty good. And I'm pretty proud of our program, and I'm pretty proud of our coaches and our kids. And like any parent, sometimes my kids make mistakes. If your kids are perfect, you can give me the double hands up, and you can come tell me exactly how you did it. And I'll just be very thankful for the advice. You guys would be awesome. So with that, let's call it good and get the heck out of here, all right? Thanks, guys, for your time. Appreciate it.